Hello and welcome back to another video of Formula 1 Challenge 1973. Today is race 8 of the season, the French Grand Prix, and it's right on the back of a disastrous Swedish Grand Prix where I retired on lap 7 because there was just no point in keeping it on the track. Everyone was much faster than me. We were absolutely incompetitive. And it hasn't only been a disaster for me, but the whole team. We failed to score any points, allowing Tyrrell to open a bigger gap in the Constructors' Championship. And Jackie also got his 9 points lead back after winning the race, and with me scoring 0 points. So we'll have our work cut out for us in this race, but we're not giving up just yet, despite we're facing a heavy back end of the season. So without further ado, let's head over to the qualifying session and see where we ended up on the grid. Let's go. And here we are starting the hot lap. So far there is no provisional pole for anyone. I'm the first one on the hot lap. And short after a couple of other guys will be starting theirs as well. So let's see what's it gonna be. As usual, the Tyrrells look fairly strong, despite I said last race that they seem to have lost their edge. And we have one of my teammates, Van Lennep, right in front of me. Actually trying to close the door in front of me. Thank you very much, mate. You don't need opponents if you have teammates like this. So, despite I said that Tyrrell is losing its qualifying edge, they are still pretty strong. And it's not only them who are losing their edge, but, well, our team does as well. We seem to be falling behind in terms of performance. And, yeah, it's just not the same as it was at the beginning of the season, where both Van Lennep and myself managed to stick to the top 10 for the most of the time. And as you saw last race, even Van Lennep started closer to P20 than P10. So it's going to be a very hard second half of this season. Going a little bit wide. And yeah, this track is a fairly interesting one as well, with two very long straights and then two trickier sections with a bunch of corners chained together, which you can see right here. And that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be above 150, yeah, especially because I messed up the exit of the corner. 153.2, certainly not a good time, at least compared to what I saw during the qualifying session. So we should be around 151, 150, and the Tyrrells have been able to score lap times under 150. So by the looks of it, this is definitely not gonna be an easy run again. And just going a bit off the track. And it doesn't really matter because this is not a hot lap. I just wanted to get back to the pit and just experiment with the settings a bit more to get something better out of it. And as you can see, short after I went out for another hot lap with slightly different settings, in hope that I can improve on the previous lap time. And we have Reutemann in the provisional pole with a time of 151.7, so he's almost 2 seconds faster than I was, and that's a bit of a mistake. And for good measure, we have someone in front of me again, just to make sure I don't get to do a clean lap, because that would be too easy. And I don't even need a clean lap because I just get sent airborne by the curb after going too wide into that corner. So yeah, this lap is probably not gonna be an improvement to the previous one, even though in the first sector I'm still 2/10 faster. I probably lost a lot more than 2/10 on that curb. But well, this was my own stupidity, so not much I can do. going a little wide again. And actually these curbs are very dangerous. They can send you airborne if you hit them with a high speed. And I'm already almost a second down on my previous lap. So there's definitely not gonna be any improvement on that. Getting the corner as well. And I decided to try and put in another lap right after that. Now that the other car is out of my way, I might be able to do a clean lap and maybe improve a little on the previous lap time. I will see how that's going to work out. So far this sector feels alright. And as you can see, my previous lap was 1.5 seconds off my previous one, so yeah, that was definitely no improvement in that. So let's see if I can make it now. Wow, that's not a lot of improvement in the first sector, despite it actually felt somewhat better than the first one. And we still have Reutemann in the provisional pole. I'm down to P3, which is fairly interesting that I'm still there. Probably still not a lot of people had their hot lap, which keeps me in a better position than in what I should be. And after sector 2, I actually have a bit of an improvement, so that's almost a second faster than before. And if I could get below 153, that would be already good enough for me. And we have a yellow flag in sector 3. Again, poor exit out of the last corner. What's it gonna be? Yeah, well, that's just a little bit of improvement. And on P1 we have Revson and Scheckter and Hunt starting next to each other. So McLarens are having a good qualifying session. Then Fittipaldi and Sever on the next row on 4 and 6, 4 and 5. And then in 6, 7 and 8 we have Reutemann, Wilson, Fittipaldi and Jackie. So the Tyrrells didn't hit the first row this time. Then on the next row we have Regazzoni on P9 and Danny Halm on P10. Right behind them we have Carlos Pace, Jochen Mass and Jackie X. Then on the next row we have Ronnie Peterson and Beltoise. Then on P16 we have Wissel, Jarier on P17, Butler on P18. Then on P19 we have my teammate right next to him, my other teammate Ganley, so that's a Williams row for them. So both of them managed to out-qualify me, and you can already see I'm in the next row alongside Purley, and that's me on P22, and Mezzari on P23. Behind us we have Von Opel on P24 and Graham Hill, and that's what we could actually see. Remaining 7 drivers unknown. And the lights are out, so it's time to do some racing, and you can see I'm already pulling out to the right side of the track to try and avoid any collision or get together with the other drivers, and I managed to overtake quite a few of them already up to P9, and I'm about to overtake Jackie as well. But he's pulling back in front of me and I actually hit him, and that's a yellow flag, which means Jackie might be Yes, Jackie is out of the race. Oh boy. Well, that's not what I wanted, and Fittipaldi just overtakes me outside of the track. Now, this is a fairly annoying thing, as if I hit the sand with all four wheels, I'm going to get stuck, while the AI can just go through it like it wasn't even there. So it's gonna be difficult with some of these guys who actually think are on the Dakar Rally instead of a Formula 1 race, but it doesn't matter, I'm up to P6, that's a really good start from P22, and I have the other Tyrrell of Francois Sever right in front of me, and behind I have Carlos Reutemann. And I'm trying to have a look whether I can go in. Yes, I can overtake Sever, who goes out of the track again. And now we're on the chase after Emerson Fittipaldi, who is on P4 at the moment. And you can see there's a bit of a train forming in front of me. So hopefully they are going to slow each other down and I can just go on and claim a couple more places, preferably a podium. That would be nice, and it would help me big time with the Drivers' Championship, especially now that I managed to take Jackie out. That was really not intentional. I wasn't expecting him to pull back in front of me, and I just had no time to react whatsoever. And I didn't get any damage out of that, so probably not been such a big contact. You could see his car buried in the sand. And I have a look on the inside of Fittipaldi here, but I'm not fast enough to make an overtake. And in this section they are a lot faster than me. And at this point I'm also fairly sure that that Lotus in front of me has a much better straight line speed than I do. And you could see Sever for a second, how close he was to me. And right behind him there is also Reutemann. You can see both of them in the mirror. And I think for a second I also saw one of the McLarens there, which must be Danny Hulme, because the other McLarens are far up ahead in the first two positions. And I go wide, and Sever is right next to me, but then he pulls back. So he didn't risk an overtake in that corner, which is a good thing because I wasn't entirely in control of my car there after hitting that curb. And he's still pretty close, well within half a second, while Fittipaldi managed to pull away and has more than a second lead on me. And now I get overtaken by Sever, but I re-overtake him in the last corner. So I managed to stick to P5 for now. And just around the end of lap 4, I finally managed to catch up to Fittipaldi, who goes wide in this corner, allows me to close the gap completely, and now I'm sitting right on his gearbox, getting ready for a move on the first possible occasion, which is not gonna be this corner, but I might try on the last one. Yes, I do, going a little bit off the track, but with that I overtake Fittipaldi and up to P4. So yeah, this is becoming a pretty good race so far. At least I'm happy with what I'm seeing and what's going on. And now it's time to hunt down Hunt, who you can see right in front, and I think in front of him is Scheckter in the McLaren on P3. I make a bit of contact with Hunt, which allows me to overtake him. So yeah, not the cleanest racing on this track so far, but well, desperate times need desperate measures, and I'm up to P3, and you just saw me losing that position around the end of lap 6 by Hunt, and now I re-overtake him in the last corner. So this is what we've been doing over the past 2 laps, just having a good fight against each other. And it looks like I managed to come out on top here. You can see a big mistake that again allows Hunt to catch up to me, and he re-overtakes me on lap at the end of lap 10. But I got the better exit, so I might be able to re-overtake him here on the straight, which seems to be working out just fine. Yes, it does, and I think he went out of the track. And Scheckter is still less than 2 seconds ahead, which means he might still be overtaken. So I don't think he's safe at this point in the race. But I also need to pay attention what's behind me, because I can see Hunt in the mirror, and I think the other one was Hulm, but it never happened. So around the end of lap 18, I actually get overtaken by Denny Hulm, who managed to overtake Hunt and myself as well, probably in one go. And now he's up to P3 himself, so I think that's a 1-2-3 for McLaren right now. It's something I actually never seen in a race, not even in these seasons where we have more than 2 cars for each team, that 3 drivers of the same team would have all the podium places. But it's nice, at least for McLaren. And around lap 25, I'm already down to P5 because I got overtaken by Wilson Fittipaldi, who basically dodged me out of the track. And now I'm fighting Sever, and Reutemann is using, well, every inch of the track, and then just bumps into me and tries it another time. And at this point I was really angry, because he just kept bumping into me and trying to push me off the track. So I've definitely had enough of him. And I was down to P6, which is something that I couldn't allow myself to happen, and I basically collided into him on pure intention that actually took him out of the race. So that was a dirty driving masterclass right there. Well, don't play dodgem with me. And now, with that, I also helped out Sever, who got up to P6, and with that he's having the last point. And if he manages to overtake me or finishes there, he still gets in some constructor points for Tyrrell. And from our team, I'm the only one who is in the points. I think Ganley was out of the race by this time. This is the last lap. And Van Lennep had some issues as well, so neither of them will be scoring any points. And Peter Revson wins the race. So that's a first place for the McLaren driver, and the race win, I think, is first race win in the season. McLaren's been doing a great job throughout this week, and they've been absolutely unbeatable. And I think it's gonna be Scheckter or Hulm on P2, depending on whether Hulm managed to overtake Scheckter. It's still not finished yet. So Danny Hulm on P2. And Scheckter on P3, so they got the McLaren 1, 2, 3. And Wilson Fittipaldi in front of me, you can see him there, is gonna be on P4. And then myself on P5. And Francois Sever is going to be on P6, taking the last point. So yeah, this has been a very turbulent race. A lot of bumping here and there, AI going off the track, overtaking each other or myself. And Well, unfortunately, I took out Jackie. There was absolutely no intention in that. That was not a planned one. The one that I actually planned was taking out Reutemann, because he just pissed me off so badly that I decided to crash into him. Not very proud of it, but still a dirty driving masterclass. Jackie is leading the championship still, however, only 7 points behind, and the McLaren drivers got a fair amount of points themselves, so they did really well. However, I'm still quite a margin ahead of them. And let's have a look at the constructor standings, where McLaren managed to overtake us with the 1, 2, 3. However, still only by 1 point, so I just need to keep outracing the McLarens as much as possible, and we can still be in that fight. And Tyrrell scored a point as well by Sever. And yeah, that's about it. It's been a fairly interesting race, I would say. So yeah, it's still everyone's battle. And this was the 1973 French Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next race in Great Britain. Goodbye.